Welcome to Hoochee. I'm Matt.
And I'm G. And before we get going with this episode, if we could just ask you to please like, subscribe, and share. And it helps us to keep going with the most amazing guests for this podcast.
Like, my mom's always like, what do you mean you run a festival? And I'm like, well, it had that company do a goodie bag for me.
Oh, no.
Which was waiting in my dressing room. And there was no chicken in it, thankfully. Like a lot of people who grow up in something, when you get to a certain age, you kind of, I don't want any of that. And I moved to New York City and I just wasn't into country music at all. Something called BBC Radio 1, like, breakfast show. And she was like, what? I mean, at one point I was like the dance correspondent. You know, like I literally was the dance correspondent
for that.
They did. I was it. And then it was like the mime festival, and I was suddenly like the mime correspondent. You know, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. I'm literally tearing up now.
Oh, you are.
Because that, I think, is the power of music.
Baylen Leonard, welcome to Hoochee.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. Finally.
Finally. We have been working hard to pin this down.
Yeah,
so
we got here, though.
We got here. Worth the wait.
Yes.
Very much worth the
Well,
wait.
we'll see if it's worth the wait.
We'll see, yeah.
Let's not make assumptions.
In about 40 minutes' time, we'll know, hopefully. You've got the glow on your face. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean,
Is it okay?
It's not really a warm, hot glow. It's more of a chilled out glow. I'll take that.
Yeah. Would you say that you are not feeling hotter than a hoochie coochie?
I'm a bit toasty,
Okay.
to be honest. Yeah.
Okay,
Fine.
good.
It could be the tequila.
You're freshly tequila'd, aren't you?
It's your Jordan Davis Boxing Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Jordan Davis sold out Wembley Arena last night. It was such a great show. It was such a fun time.
Yeah, I'm already going off piece here. How? Sorry. So Jordan Davis sold out Wembley Arena last night, following 2 sold out nights in Manchester.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about the current state of country music in the UK?
Well, it's growing all the time, and more people are discovering it. More and more people are coming out of the country closet.
Yeah.
But also, I think it says a lot about how Jordan and his team have made a conscious effort to grow in the UK.
Yeah.
Because not every artist will put in that work and that commitment to do that. Because, you know, Jordan's been coming over for a long time and steadily growing the audience each and every time, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And he's talked about this himself, and we were in Nashville for CMA Awards. There was kind of like an industry awards thing before the main thing, and he was giving his live booking agent an award and talking about how she had made this happen, basically. So it doesn't just happen because people are into country music. Obviously, they need to be into country music to buy the tickets. But it also happens because artists commit to growing an audience outside of the US. And like Kit Moore's done it. You know, loads of artists have done it. And there are artists who haven't done it as well.
Yeah.
Well, even last time, I can't remember what venue he was due to play, but 2 years ago when Ashley Cooke was over as well, and he ended up playing the Apollo, didn't he? Because that venue got upgraded.
Yeah, I was at that as well.
Yeah. So to now do an arena.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind it's Wembley Arena, and then in the summer we're going to have Luke Combs doing Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
For 3 nights.
For 3 nights.
Which is crazy.
Okay, Taylor Swift, calm down.
You need to calm down.
Oh, well done.
Thank you.
Do you think that Luke Combs, I've been wondering this, because you've seen Luke Combs before?
Yeah.
So, you know, Luke is all about the music. He just comes out there, sings, kicks a cup of beer into the audience every now and again, but not a huge amount of theatrics because he doesn't need them. Wembley Stadium, does he need some fire cannons?
It's
Interesting. I think so.
Like, do you want him to have fire cannons?
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't not want them.
No.
I wouldn't be mad if they were there.
I think there needs to be at least
There needs to be something.
a fire cannon.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
a big, like, of course, the songs and Luke and his voice and kind of all of that. But I think in a stadium, I'm just really excited to see what they're going to do there.
There's got
Yeah.
to be some kind of pyrotechnics. There's got to be a
Oh,
big
yeah.
like effort on the light show. You have to carry the show to the top back row of that stadium.
You have
So
to, yeah.
I'm going to see what. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they do.
Well, yeah,
Nice.
the drop of Beer Never Broke My Heart. Everything. I want fireworks on top of the roof. I want it all.
I want some confetti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want like glitter, a rain of glitter confetti at some point.
I think it's going to happen.
I think we can arrange that for you.
Yeah.
Maybe
Thank
like
you.
beer-shaped confetti.
I don't feel like that's going to happen,
No.
but sure.
We can imagine.
I'll take it.
We can dream. We can dream.
I mean, beer-shaped confetti is kind of just confetti-shaped. Really,
yeah.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's true.
For the most part.
Tequila shaped.
Guys, it's not going to be shaped like... It's just going to be confetti.
just
Everyone
gonna be
needs to calm
rectangles.
down on the confetti. This is
Yeah.
not a confetti
Rectangles.
podcast.
Circles at a push.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there we go. Back onto where we were. But that's a good point.
Sorry.
It's all true. We last saw each other in Canada. Back
Yeah, for the
properly
CCMAs.
at CCMAs back in September.
Yeah.
We had a
Is
great
that the
time.
last time we saw each other?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
I think so.
probably.
In IRL.
Yes, in real life. Sorry, I really had to work that one out. It's a great time out there, wasn't it? Out in Kelowna. We've spoken about it. In fact, I think everyone listening has probably got fed
Everyone
up of
is
us talking
bored
about
of
it.
us talking about it.
So let's ask you about it. You were on a panel for one of the days as well.
Yes.
So talk about that whole experience for you. How'd you find it out there?
That's the second year that I've been to the CCMAs, and I love it. I love how supportive Canada as a country are, not just of their musicians, but of their culture and their arts in general. They're supportive financially. They're supportive in other ways. They have a really great export program. I think it's such a great opportunity to find artists for whatever reason, whether it's just to listen to or whether it's to book or to play on the radio or whatever it might be, that you just wouldn't find otherwise. I know that now we can all find anything online, but if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know what you're looking for, right? So they don't all these artists don't always immediately have people that are working for them outside of Canada, you know, that maybe they don't have people in the UK that are sending me their music. So it's just such a great way to discover new artists and new music, but also being there and kind of watching country music's biggest night in Canada kind of helps you understand how that whole community works, because people always talk about country as such a community, which is very true, and then Canada, it's a community, but it's like different because it's Canada. Yeah, there are a lot of artists from Nashville that we know that are there and that are obviously huge in Canada, but also the thing that I always find lovely, not just discovering artists that I haven't heard of before, but Canadian artists that I have heard of before and seeing how revered they are in Canada, you know, whether that's Lindsay L or Tennille Towns, or, you know, like seeing Jess Moskaluke, seeing these artists that have a certain presence here or a certain presence in Nashville, and then you go to Canada and they're like superstars.
Yeah.
It's great to see.
Yeah, they do look after their own over there, don't they? It's really nice to see. And the whole kind of music week that goes with
Yes.
the CCMA award show. And how hospitable they were to us. Like, it was our first time over there. We didn't have a clue what we were doing. We didn't even realize we were booked in to have meetings with people. But they were great, and everyone was so friendly and was like, "Oh, you're in radio and you're in media. Let me introduce you to this person and this person." And it was the whole energy of that week was all about teamwork, and everyone had the same goal, just more space for country music.
Yeah.
So you were on a panel. I can't remember what the name of the workshop was. It was like an international
How to go
panel,
international.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something
I mean,
like that.
This was September. I can't.
It was a while ago.
I'm sure it was something about international country music, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And it was also I do know that it was the morning after I landed the night before.
Yeah.
So I was,
Okay. You didn't know what time zone you were in.
no. But it's always great, those things. Sometimes you know the people that you're on the panel with, and sometimes it's new. But it's less about who you're with on the panel than who's in the room that you can hopefully answer some questions for, and kind of. I think in those things, I know what it's like to be on the other side of those things, and when you're trying to start doing something and you're trying to get your foot in the door, And it can be so intimidating, I think. And so one of the things that I always try and do on those panels is just remind everybody that, like, everybody's just a person. Like, yes, you might feel intimidated to reach out to somebody, but ultimately everybody's wanting to find it as much as you're wanting to be found, you know? So I think it's just important for people to remember that. So always try and get that across. And also not just give canned advice, you know, like, how bad do you want it? Ugh, I hate, like, everybody wants it. Like, it's fine. Like, I think it's also important to remind people that they can give themselves a break, because I think the hustle culture, particularly in the creative industries and with artists that are just really wanting to make it and get a break, you can beat yourself up so much. And that goes for anything, working in radio, doing podcasts, whatever. You can give yourself such a hard time if you're not constantly burning the candle at both ends. And I just think that's bullshit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what was interesting as well is that obviously I think having you in the room at that point, I mean, for us, we were sat at the back just like taking it all in. But to have someone kind of representing the UK in that point, because I guess right now everyone is looking at the UK a little bit with the kind of rising scene. And I remember the questions that got asked to you that day was like, how can we crack the UK? And it's kind of like, did you always feel like, oh my God, like, is this a lot? Like, why are you all coming to me, like trying to break the UK, like sort of thing? Is that the kind of thing?
No, I mean, because that's why I'm there.
Well, yeah, of course.
So, and I want them to break the UK as much as they want to break. Like, I want to find as many interesting artists with something to say that I can support, whether it's on the radio or booking them on the long road or whatever the case may be, just being a supporter in general, because you constantly you want to give people something that they're not getting. And it's also so exciting to see somebody's career take off.
Absolutely. And there's lots of it at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. And like when people are submitting music to you, I don't know how much you can tell us, but like, are you bound? Obviously, we do volunteer radio. We can play wherever we want. Are you bound to a certain amount of this much music from this area, and then you've got this amount to fill in with whatever you want, or do you just curate your own every day?
So during the week, the station has a playlist that kind of evolves and moves around, but you know, it's got a playlist of kind of core country music from different eras and different periods. That shifts a bit, but it's kind of there. And also it's a station sound. So you want people that are tuning in, whether it's during my show or later on during the day, there has to be some sort of familiarity there. But I do have a say in it, you know, if they're in the degree that if there's somebody that I really don't want to play, or a song that I'm just like, okay, you know, we can rest it for a minute. Then I have my spotlight artists, which change every week. And that's like where I go through all the new releases that are out each week, pick out the best ones and play them all week long. And I always try and make that like one kind of commercial country thing, something that's a little bit off-piste, maybe Americana or something, maybe a new artist that a lot of people haven't heard of. I try to do a little mix of that, but it also depends on what's out that week. It ultimately comes down to what's the best music that's out that week. And then my show on a Sunday, The Front Porch, that's entirely curated. So that's more your kind of Americana roots, maybe commercial country, but commercial country that doesn't get played that much, or it might be a little bit forgotten about. So that's completely curated. There's no playlist in that. That's kind of like a specialty show where I can kind of play anything that I want. But I'm not told who to play for my spotlight artists. That can be anybody. And the great thing about that is, if it is something that people haven't heard of before, it's always going to be a new song. But if it's an artist they're really unfamiliar with, I always talk into and out of it. So I can always set it up for people and let them know. Because some people might just want Megan Maroney or Eric Church or Dolly Parton. And that's great. That's coming. But let me tell you about this, because this might be your new favorite thing as well. So I think as long as you can kind of tell people why you're playing it, give them a little bit of an introduction to it, then it helps them kind of buy into it as well.
Yeah. And how exciting to be able to hold space for some up and coming artists, some spotlight artists, and just give them that bit of a leg up. and let the world see, you know, we recognize it, let's let everyone else recognize it. It's such a great thing to be able to do for global country music, not just our own homegrown talent as well.
Yeah, I love doing it. I love I love the music, so I love hearing it on the radio as well. And I also like that, because there are sometimes I'm listening to something and I'll think, is this a bit like, it wouldn't make playlists probably.
Right.
I mean, anything can make playlists if it becomes a hit. And time again, we've seen songs that, you know, have kind of broken the mold and are sonically totally different than anything else. They become a massive hit, and then loads of things come after it that want to try and ape that sound. But ultimately, I can play anything in those Spotlight Artist songs. And I love playing stuff that's totally different than the other stuff that I'm playing throughout the day.
Yeah.
Another place you're doing that now is obviously the Long Road.
Yeah.
Exciting times. Where do you think at the moment this festival is gearing up in kind of like your estimations as opposed to previous Long Roads?
Every year is kind of like bigger.
Next step.
Yeah, like that's the goal. And we've only just had our second announcement, so we've got a lot more things to announce. But one of the things about the Long Road, I think, that makes it so special is that, and hopefully now, people who have been before, who have heard about it from their friends, they kind of trust the experience. Obviously, it's about the lineup, and that has to deliver. But I always think the Long Road is about so much more than the lineup as well. It's a real lifestyle thing, and so much care and thought and work has gone into creating the atmosphere of the Long Road, that I think that is one of the things that people come for as well. So on the one hand, that's great. On the other hand, of course, that's pressure, because you want people to also be blown away by the music that's going to be there. And everybody has such a different idea of, you know, what their perfect festival is. But with the Long Road, because we have so many stages and so many artists, we can program so broadly that the goal is always to have something happening somewhere on site for everyone. You know, you don't like what's on this stage? Hey, guess what? There's 4 other stages. So looking at that way and kind of trying to cross program in a way where we really think about, oh, these type of fans will be loving this, but what about the people that don't love this? Where can we put something that they will like? So we try and go really deep with all of that.
There is something for everyone, I think, at the moment. Obviously, on that lineup at the moment, Josh Ross is going to be there, which is going to be great.
Yeah.
Well, you know, actually, Josh Ross, like seeing him at the CCMA Awards, really kind of sealed the deal for me.
Really?
I mean, not that I needed convincing on Josh Ross, because
No.
he was amazing, but seeing him, what a big star he is in Canada, but also just seeing his performances on a stage of that size, it was like, oh, he'll be great at the Long Road. So actually, that's a way that some things tie in together like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, Emmylou Harris is coming again.
I mean,
on the farewell
come
tour.
on.
Come on.
You know,
That is a once in a lifetime, a literal once in a lifetime.
yeah, like seeing her in that environment. I've never seen her at an outdoor setting before. I've seen her in kind of, you know, beautiful venues. But I can't wait to see her in that kind of golden hour.
Yeah.
As the sun is setting.
Oh, it's going to be magical.
See it now.
Harris, like, you know, and who knows if she'll ever come back again. It's they've said it's her European farewell.
Yeah.
So
Well, how old is she now?
we don't really, age is a number.
We
know.
don't ask ladies, do we?
I don't actually know.
Does one retire
Nor would
from
I ever
music?
ask.
No.
Just keeps going. Do you know what I mean? It's playing the music. And of course, Bailey Zimmerman on a Saturday night. It's gonna
Sorry,
be
for a second there, I was like, do you mean Kaylee? And I was like, Bailey.
Kaylee Zimmerman?
I was like, my name's Baylen.
Bailey and Baylen. It makes sense.
Zimmerman, of course.
That has been a thing that we have worked on for a long time. We first talked about it a while back, and through various circumstances, it just gets, you know, we've finally gotten it to happen. But he's wanted to do it for a long time. We've obviously wanted to make it happen for a long time. So Have you ever seen him?
No.
He's honestly one of the best concerts I've ever been to.
His energy is through the roof.
Yeah.
So it's really good that we don't have a roof.
Yeah.
Matt,
Well,
what do you think it will be?
What? Unreal. I don't sound like that.
Matt says it all the time. Everything
Okay.
is unreal.
Most things are unreal. To be fair.
It's unreal.
Well, it's going to be unreal.
It will be
See?
unreal.
See?
I saw
Told you.
him funnily enough, I saw him in Birmingham being supported by Josh Ross.
Ah.
A brilliant night.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
that's going to be a special
Is
night.
he going to have any cannons, fireworks?
There's discussions about because the thing about Bailey is like obviously his songs are incredible, but he's also got a real interest in his stagecraft as well, and kind of how the stage looks and what happens on stage and all of that, and which I love. He's got a real kind of creative director's eye for.
Well,
how
he
his
made
shows
everything
go.
he made the whole floor white.
He did.
And yeah.
So
And he had 3 outfit changes, I think, during his
yeah,
set.
he
Yeah.
did. So we've had there's going to be some Bailey stuff
Okay.
that happens
Because-
at the long road, and stuff that will have happened. It'll be the first time that
Oh.
it's ever happened at the Long Road. If it all comes off the way that it's being planned, yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I think so far at the Long Road, Russell Dickinson's set is like the biggest party. Like for me, when
yeah.
I've been there, Russell Dickinson's set was like, we are having a party. Like, this is a great performance. So I can only imagine
Yeah,
what Bailey Zimmerman's
that was
is
an
gonna be
RD
like.
party for sure.
Yeah.
But the BZ party
Is coming.
is coming. That train is coming.
Love it. I saw a video. I've seen a few videos now, obviously, of his sets, and he just jumps out the floor, swinging from a rope.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I was at
ridiculous.
something. I can't remember if the CMAs or the CCMAs, but yeah, he was like just hanging from a rope,
Yeah.
and I was like, well,
You're
and
like,
we had already started the discussions about him doing TLR then, and I remember looking at that rope, being like, well, we can't. I'm not gonna have a rope.
not sure
there.
what he'll hang from.
But I don't know. Maybe we will. Depends what Bailey wants.
Maybe he'll land in the lake and
No. Look, we've got some health and safety.
Okay,
Okay,
no
so the
lake for
lake
Bailey.
is off limits.
It's actually
Yeah.
a bit too far from the stage, isn't it? You can't really utilize it.
We
Yeah.
always talk about what we can do in that lake. Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, CCMAs, we had Jade Eagleson on a truck on a boat on the lake.
that's
so
true. The lake at TLR, while beautiful, and obviously we do the wild swimming in there, not that deep.
oh no.
It's not super deep.
Could you stand in it? Like ankles?
I've never been. I've never been in the
I
lake.
can't say I've ever been in it.
Yeah, I think you can kind of stand in it.
Maybe you just build a stage in there.
Listen, we'll
We'll
get
talk
there
about
in
it.
future
We'll
years.
talk
Maybe.
about it.
No, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm up for it.
Well, speaking of big events, is that a segue for this one? We'll roll with it.
Essentially.
The Opry. Come on.
You stood in the circle. You did that thing.
That was so cool.
So special.
Yeah, really
Did you have
special.
any idea that was coming your way?
No, not really until they asked me. I think that maybe one time, like a while back, they had said, like, I can't remember. They said, like, oh, the next time you're over, you should host. And I was like, yeah. I mean, I think I thought, oh, what a nice thing. They must say that to everybody.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't really know that it was coming until they asked me to do it. Yeah. And I think it was Darius Rucker who they had asked me to do it.
Yeah.
In a kind of, anyway, everything about it was amazing. Because I grew up in Tennessee,
Yeah.
in East Tennessee, and so the Opry is just. I know country artists talk about it all the time. And also, I'm not in any way putting myself on the level of like country artists who get to make their debut at the Grand Ole Opry. Like,
But it's your equivalent, right?
it's like, I guess it's as good as it can
Yeah.
get for like a host, right? So it's like, yeah, it just meant a lot. Like, it was part of life, the Opry, and it is a super special place. And I had been to the Opry many times as a fan and as an audience member, but I was a little bit like, they give you the full deal. You get there and you've got your dressing room, and they gave me this kind of framed Opry poster with my name on it as guest host that night and the date, and it feels like this it feels like a big deal when you go to, and so many of my friends came, because it was during CMA Awards that week. So many of my friends came backstage, and it was just such a lovely atmosphere. But yeah, I was a little nervous because I always hear people talk about being nervous at the Opry, and you always think, well, you're a professional, you can do this. And I was backstage being like, okay. But it was such a super fun thing to be asked to do. And it was the one thing that, like, you know, my family also understood it. You know, because a lot of times the stuff that like my mom's always like, what do you mean you run a festival? And I'm like, well, but like that, she understood that I was co-hosting the Grand Ole Opry.
It must have been such a... Sorry.
Sorry.
Go on.
No, you go.
It must have been such a nice kind of roundup of everything going on since, I guess, moving from the States to the UK and into almost like a homecoming.
Yeah, like I had to move to the UK to
be able
be asked to host
go back and do the Opry.
Go back to my home state and host the
Yeah.
Grand Ole Opry. But listen, I'll take that. It
Yeah.
works.
Whatever path has led you there is the path that was meant for you.
Yeah, and it was nice. I introduced Charles Eston that night. He was on. And you know, it was interesting. He's played the Opry literally, I can't remember the number
Oh
that I
my
said.
gosh. No, it's 100.
A huge amount
an
of
obscene
times
amount.
that he has played the Opry.
Is that
And-
including like in Nashville in the show?
Yeah, maybe, but you know, also as his own artist, he's
Yeah.
been at the Opry for so many times. And we were talking backstage, you know, and right before I went on to introduce him, like he was kind of pacing around a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there's just something about the history of that venue and that moment where everybody, even if you've played it hundreds of times like that, you still feel the kind of weight of history on your shoulders a little bit in a great way.
Good. And I think that is a great thing, because as soon as that goes, then what's left? What do you...
Yeah, I mean, I also don't want, like I said, you know, like it was a super special moment, but it's not like, you know, I'm Dolly Parton at the Opera or anything. I just went out and said a few things, and it was super
Hey,
special.
don't downplay it. Don't downplay it. It's a big moment.
No, but I get it. But also, you know, I'm not an artist.
No.
You know,
But like you said, that's still like a mecca for us as well as presenters and radio, and like it's a radio show at the end of the day.
it is.
So
It's the longest running radio show in the world.
there you go. So
but
take
it's a great
it.
room because it's really big, the Opry, but it feels super intimate.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
I mean, I cried when I was in the audience.
Yeah, I was only upset I didn't get to give away a farm fresh frozen chicken, because one time I was at the Opry and one of their sponsors was this farm fresh frozen chicken
Brilliant.
company,
Right.
And it was like, you know, they do the ads in between stuff, and it was like, you know, look under your chair if you're seat number 423, you've got a voucher for a farm fresh frozen chicken. And I was like, oh my god, I really hope I get to give away a farm fresh frozen chicken. And even though I didn't get to do that, the Opry, who I told this story to every time I saw them, I talked about farm fresh frozen chicken, they had that company do a goodie bag for me.
Oh no.
Which was waiting in my dressing room, and there was no chicken in it, thankfully, but there was a lot of like cookbooks and merch, farm fresh frozen chicken merch.
Oh my gosh.
So I was very pleased.
That's so
merch.
special. The attention to
Love
detail from the Opry is second to none.
They listen.
Absolutely.
They do.
They're special people. They're a lovely group of people working in a lovely like venue.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's talk more about you and your kind of background and your love of country music, I guess. Like, kind of similar to like when we talk to artists. Like, where did country music, where did the love of it all start for you?
It just started where I was born, I think, because I was from, and my family is still in, a town called Bristol, Tennessee. And Bristol, Tennessee / Virginia, it's a town that is half in Virginia and half in Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
So there's the main
this, yeah.
street is called State Street, and the yellow line that goes down the center of the street is the state line. So one side is Virginia, one side is Tennessee. And it's known officially as the birthplace of country music.
Wow.
Because the very first commercial recordings of country music were done there in 1927. This record executive from New York City had heard about what they called hillbilly music then, and he traveled down from New York City with this kind of cutting edge technology, a portable like recording studio basically, and put ads in the local papers for people to literally come out of the woods and sing some songs, and they would pay them for them. And that's where the Carter family came from. They very first recorded there. Jimmy Rogers, like all of these iconic country music royalty recorded for the very first time, and they're known as the Bristol Sessions. And you will hear artists reference the Bristol Sessions endlessly. And Johnny Cash called it the Big Bang of country music. Like, it was the moment that country music took off and became this huge commercial juggernaut. And that happened in my hometown. So I grew up, and that was just a part of the fabric of my life. And, the town is covered in murals about it. And there's a wonderful festival called the Bristol Rhythm and Roots Reunion Festival, which honors that. We're coming up to 100 years of that. So there'll be big celebrations in 27. And so my love of country music just came from growing up in the town where country music kind of was born.
Yeah, well, there's no option for you other than to love country music then.
Yeah, it was just a part of the fabric of life.
Yeah.
It was the soundtrack. And lots of places in America, country music is just everywhere, whether you're a country fan or not. Country stars.
It's just kind of music, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
on the radios, it's out there.
You're always going to have multiple country radio stations wherever you are, and certainly in the South you are. But country artists are also going to be on your television, not just on country shows. They're going to be advertising stuff. They're going to be on game shows. They're going to be on late night shows. And so, yeah, country music was just a fabric. And then like a lot of people who grow up in something, when you get to a certain age, you kind of, I don't want any of that. And I moved to New York City, and I just wasn't into country music at all. And it wasn't until I went to, in New York City, a Loretta Lynn concert that I was like, me and a friend kind of went, like, we liked Loretta Lynn, but we kind of thought it would be funny to go, I think. And we went to this concert in New York City with Loretta Lynn, and the audience was the coolest audience I'd ever seen. It was like fashion people and like punks with like mohawks and like just the coolest people. And I remember being at that concert, and Brad Paisley, who nobody had heard of before, was her opening act. And I remember being at that concert and looking around and being like, oh, country's cool. And it really started making me understand, like, country wasn't about where you were from. It wasn't, and Loretta Lynn's as country as cornbread. Like, there's nothing out. It's not like she was doing a twist on country music. Like, she was country, and it was just, it made me look at her differently and how challenging her songs were. Because, she was the most banned artist on radio for a long time, because she talked about things like the pill. She talked about women's rights. She talked to, don't come home drinking with lovin' on your mind. Like, she taught, you're going to go to Fifth City if you take my man. Like, she was talking about stuff. Anyway, so, yeah, that's when I started falling in love with country music again. And then it stayed that. Yeah, it continued on from there.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Learned so much already. Do you know what? I remember, this is really, I don't know if this is a really bad segue, but Rob Brydon did a show recently, didn't he? Mm-hmm. And he went to Bristol, didn't he? I'm pretty done. That's all come flooding back now.
Yeah, he did.
I feel like there's a great film there. Is it a film already? It needs to be a film.
Talk to us about when radio then started for you. Like, was you growing up listening to all this stuff and being like, I want to do radio? Like, when did that kind of come into it?
It wasn't until I moved to the UK, actually. I didn't do any radio until I moved to the UK. And
when did you come over here? When did you move?
December 20,000. December 2000.
BC.
Oh,
26
26 years ago, almost.
26 years ago.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Long old time.
A long old time, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I moved here and kind of, I didn't really, like, I was doing, in New York City, I did a lot of voiceovers and stuff like that. But when I moved here, I was kind of like, oh, I can do anything I want when I go there, because nobody knows what I do. So I started telling which was true to a degree. I was like, oh, people would ask what I did, and I would go, I do voiceovers. I did voiceovers in New York. I also was a bartender and a waiter, but and somebody that I met the very first kind of week, I knew this guy in New York who lived in the UK, and he filmed like music concerts and stuff like that. And he had a dinner party, and at the dinner party, the person beside me asked me what I did, and I went, I do voiceovers. And she went, oh, where I work, they're looking for an American voiceover. I'm going to put you in contact. And she did, and I went in to do this voiceover, and I didn't know anything about it. And I came home that day, and my neighbor, who I had gotten to know and was friendly with, she was like, oh, what did you do today? And I was like, oh, I did some voiceover for something called BBC Radio 1, like, breakfast show. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, and she was like, and then Sarah Cox was in it at the time, and she had like a Heat magazine, and she was like, this is Sarah Cox. And I was like, oh.
That's probably a good thing though, right? To go into it like not knowing really.
Yeah, I was just happy I had something to go do.
Yeah.
So I was in the radio studio, and I was like, oh, this is cool, radio studio. I was like, maybe I'll do radio. And then I went and took a night course to learn how to drive the desk, because I thought, well, I probably should know how to do something if I'm going to do radio. And the guy who ran the course worked at BBC Radio London, and I'd met somebody else who worked at BBC Radio London, and they got me a work experience thing for a week. And I worked on this show. And at the end of the week, I said to the producer, I was like, I really like this. I'm going to come back next week. And she was like, okay. So I just kept showing up and making myself really useful, or as useful as I could. And like anything, if you keep showing up, you suddenly become useful to them. Because whether it's just making tea, which I made hundreds and hundreds of cups of tea, or some little task that you start doing that they don't have to do anymore. So like there was a little segment of the show that they would start having me write the scripts for. So I would write the scripts. But because I had taken this radio course, I knew how to make a little package, they call it, like a little, like you can just push play and it's got like music and it's got the script and everything's there. And I would voice it. Oh. So I would make a little package and put it in the system. And so I would say to the producer, like, here's the script, but if you want, I also made this package that's in the thing. And, the first few times she was like, well. And then, of course, because it added something to the radio show and it meant that it was a bit that they didn't have to think about, they would just start using it.
Yeah, nice.
And then, somebody would go on holiday and I would get like a week's worth of whatever, assistant producing or studio producing or broadcast assistant or whatever. And then I would start setting up stuff for reporters. And then a reporter got sick one day and they sent me out.
Oh my God, what did you report on?
It was at the Bethnal Green Museum of Childhood. I can't even remember. Wow. I think it was some like anniversary about teddy bears or something. Like,
Strong day.
Genuinely can't remember. I know it was like the radio van was parked outside of the Bethnal Green. I think it's now the V&A. Anyway, it's a museum of childhood.
Okay.
And parked outside there. They coming to me live, and I was like, Baylen Leonard at the Bethnal Green Museum. But it was so exciting. And then I just kept coming up with ideas about like, hey, what if I do this? What if I do that? What if I do this? And then one thing led to another, and eventually I kind of worked my way on air, and it all took off from there.
That's amazing.
So were you on air on BBC?
Yeah, for a long time.
Really?
Like at BBC Radio London, I did pretty much every show. It's starting on doing some like reporting bits into shows. Then I did overnights for a long time. Then I was like the breakfast show, drive time. I was the entertainment correspondent. I was this, I was that. I did the papers. I did so many. I think everything except the sports show. I think I did there. And then from that led to doing some stuff at BBC Radio 2 as well, when I kind of properly zeroed in on country music and decided to stop doing everything else and just do, because when you're starting out in any industry, you just say yes to everything because you want to get as much experience as you can. And so I was just happy to do anything. I was doing it all. I mean, at one point I was like the dance correspondent, like I literally was the
There's
dance
a correspondent for that.
They did. I was it. And then it was like the mime festival, and I was suddenly like the mime correspondent. I was literally just yes to everything.
Wow.
And then at some point I was like, okay, I need to focus here. Like
I've lost my way.
thing?
Dance, mime, done it all. I need to do
But it was
something.
good. It gave me all good experience. And doing live radio is a real, it's its own thing. So I did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of that. And it wasn't until I was like, okay, I now feel like I can go, what is the thing that I really connect with, that I know about? And it was country music. And so I was like, right, I'm only going to do country music things from now on.
And here you are.
And here I am on
No more
Chattahoochee.
No more mime.
No more mime. No
What
more
do you know
mime.
about mime?
I did love the London Mime Festival, though. It was super fun.
That sounds like
Lots of puppetry.
really.
Not as much mime as you'd imagine in the Mime Festival.
I mean, I've just got Charlie Chaplin. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I can envisage.
Lots of
big
his
one.
descendants do a lot of work in circus skills.
Oh, his actual family tree.
yeah.
Interesting. Circus skills.
really, the
What would
Chaplins
you
are
be
up
in the
for it.
circus?
In the circus?
I reckon you'd be a flyer. Someone would.
Like a trapeze?
Yeah, just, maybe.
What?
I did something at a circus once.
What?
One of the things I did at
It was a trapeze.
BBC.
No, it was Poetry Week.
Okay.
And I don't know I don't understand quite why this conceit happened, but they had the idea that I would do poetry from high places in London. I don't know where the high places thing came in. I can't remember why that was a thing. So for the entire week, they sent me to different high places. And so one of them was actually not too far away from where we are at that time, was the highest crane in London. They were building a hotel at Aldgate East. And they sent me up that hotel, up this crane, to the very top of this crane, to recite a poem live on like the whatever it was. And then actually in that building, we put the poem in like a breeze block before
That's
they
cool.
blocked it up. So in that building, there was a poem
Is
that
your
I
poem.
wrote down.
It's giving. What's the magician that sat in a box? for
Oh,
ages?
David Blaine.
David Blaine.
It's giving David Blaine does
I
poetry.
did one in an airplane doing a loop-de-loop. And then the circus bit was in Zippo's circus. I did the Wheel of Death to a paying audience that had come to get
on a motorbike.
Someone
thing.
paid to-
No, I was walking in it, but it was the wheel. It was like two wheels, and they do like this, and it was like this Italian family that had done it forever. And I showed up, and they like in like 30 minutes taught me how to do the Wheel of Death
whilst reading poetry.
while doing a poem about circuses.
And you're still here.
Isn't that so weird?
That's crazy. Is there footage?
Oh, there will be. It was on the news. It was on like BBC News.
Right.
And they all wore white. And I remember like my producer, like we ran to like Primark and bought me like this white outfit so that I
God.
matched. And then the next thing I know, I'm in the Wheel of Death being like screaming this poem to people who are like, why are we at, what did we pay to come to the circus for this for? Isn't that weird?
On the list of things I thought you'd done in your previous life, that was not on it.
I love that
That's
though.
amazing.
What a story.
I forgot I even did that. But yeah, that was the thing.
It's all going back now.
But fun, it kept the days
Do it
interesting.
now? Do you want to give it another go?
I mean, I feel like once you know how to do the Wheel of Death, you always know how to do the Wheel of
That's
Death.
Just
what I
like riding a
thought.
bike, really.
Yeah, it's just walking around inside, but it goes really high. There, I didn't have guide. I mean, it seems like an insurance problem now.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Health and safety.
wouldn't catch them
have a
doing it
nightmare
now.
day.
But
No,
anyway, back
no
then
chance.
it was fine.
It's time to give a shout out to our friends down at SoCal Barbecue Shop, the home of barbecue.
Here you'll find the ultimate range of barbecues and outdoor cooking equipment and an unrivaled choice of barbecue sauces, rubs, accessories, charcoal, gas and wood.
They're also a Yeti flagship store with the largest range in the UK, which is worth a visit on its own.
Not forgetting all the official Ariat, Stetson, Bass Pro gear. If you've not been, make it a priority soon or check their website. Chatter 10, 10 quickfire questions, emphasis on the quickfire.
Okay, A.
Well
3.
done.
Dolly Parton.
Good. We're going to ask you some questions and then you give us the answer as quick as possible, just like that.
Okay.
So first one, favourite country song?
Why'd you come in here looking like that, Dolly Parton?
What's that one? That's not Here You Come Again.
No.
That's a different song called Here You Come Again.
I mean, look.
Thanks, Jay.
That is immediately what comes to mind because it's just such a you feel great listening to it song. Of course, if I had to really dig down, there's probably a million others I could name, but that is a go-to feel-good song for sure. Or Light of a Clear Blue Morning by Dolly Parton. If you're going through anything in your life and you just need to know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, I genuinely cannot tell you how many times that I've put that song on and cried.
Yeah.
Not from because it's just so you feel like Dolly is taking you by the hand and you're going to be all right. And it's, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. I'm literally tearing up now.
Oh, you are.
Because that, I think, is the power of music.
Yeah.
That somebody can create something that speaks to you in such a way that it gets you through something. And I think that's amazing.
Dolly does it every time.
Dolly does it every time.
Favorite album?
I love Same Trailer, Different Park from Casey. I think that is just such a phenomenal album. And it's also I felt like I knew the people she was talking about.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get old for me. But I will caveat that the way I did with the song. It's so hard to pick one favorite album.
Hard.
That's just the one that popped into my head because it was such a important album. And it also, I think, really changed how people thought about country music.
Is that her Follow Your Arrow, Biscuits?
Yeah. And Follow Your Arrow as a song, I mean, boom.
Yeah.
Banned by country radio all over the States until it became a huge hit. And then they were like, oh, actually.
Is that because it talked about, what's the bit where she's like, kiss a...
Oh,
kiss lots of boys or kiss lots of girls if that's something you're into. But they always, and they said oh, we didn't ban it because of that. We banned it because it mentions getting high, and it was like 99% of country music mentions some sort of drug or alcohol.
Yeah.
Do you know there was a study done of genres that mentioned drugs and alcohol the most, and far and away it was country music.
No, I believe
far
that.
and away it was country music.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Leading the way.
Yeah.
Favorite artist right now?
Ella Langley comes to mind. She seems to be able to do no wrong at the moment.
She's on fire at the minute.
Yeah, I know. Do people often just give you one and move on? Because that feels impossible. Because I could say Megan Maroney, I could say Zach Top.
Yeah.
There's so many artists that are doing. The great thing about I always think about country music of most eras, even in the eras where people feel like it's stuck in one sort of thing. There's so many different types of country music that are happening that it's so hard to put. It is all one thing, which is useful. But it also isn't. It's like saying that all rock and roll is rock and roll. There's so many different types of rock music, and there's so many different types of country music. So, who's doing it well at the moment? I think Zach Top is a great throwback to, he's an artist that's really obviously has his feet firmly planted in tradition, but is moving the genre forward. But also, I love that Megan Maroney talks about modern things and doesn't make it sound weird. It doesn't feel like it's being wedged in because this is how she lives her life. So some of the songs that she writes with Mackenzie Carpenter, where they mention something as silly as Instagram, like some artists that would feel like, oh, we're trying to wedge in kind of modern things, but that is you just know that's how they live.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cool to hear country music because country music is this living, breathing, evolving art form. And it doesn't just, you can still talk about trucks and dogs and hats and all of that sort of stuff. But you can also talk about the way we live now. And I think it's so good to see that happening.
What artist should we be listening to?
I just started listening to this guy called Monrovia.
Ooh.
Okay.
And he named himself after Monrovia in Liberia, where he's from.
Oh, cool.
And he moved to the States when he was a child as a refugee, fleeing civil war in Liberia. And he has combined the sounds of kind of Liberia and the region of Africa that he's from with kind of Appalachian sounds. And
cool.
it's just so good. Because I love finding stuff like that. And he's been around for a while. Like, it's not like he's this brand new artist. I just hadn't heard of him until literally this week. On the way here, I was listening to him. It was just like really good vibes. Like, again, back to that conversation of what is country and what isn't country. Like, I don't know what you would call this, but it's good. I call it good.
Yeah.
And it definitely fits under the umbrella of kind of country, certainly roots music for sure, but I just think it's great.
Best gig you've been to?
I think it might have been that. Well, my first gig ever was Ronnie Milsap. Do you guys know Ronnie Milsap?
No.
He just played the Grand Ole Opry actually this week. I was so excited to see that. He was enormous in the 80s, maybe into the 90s, but that was my first concert I ever went to as a kid, and I was just so excited by everything about it. So that was, it was such a good day. We went to like a steakhouse afterwards. There was like, I remember being fascinated by the fog. They were kind of putting the fog out on the stage before the show. And I was just a kid, but I was just like mesmerized. So that's burned into my memory. But I think Loretta Lynn concert might have been the one, because it changed my whole view of how people see country music and the type of people that like country music. And also, she didn't need to have a corded microphone, but that was clearly her prop. We were into the age of she could have had a wireless microphone, but she clearly needed that was her thing, because she would kind of whip the cord like it was a whip. And she came out on stage and she was just like whipping this thing around. And she just came out on stage and she went, "What do you want to hear?" And people would be like, "Woo,"
terrified,
like just shouting different coal miner's daughter or Fist City or whatever. And she'd be like, "All right, coal miner's daughter," bing, 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 and just like go into it. And then after that, "What do you want to hear?" And so it showed like what a absolute professional she is, what a back catalog that she has. And it was like that age of country music where we just like those artists. We don't have a lot of those artists anymore. And I saw Brad Paisley for the first time when nobody knew who he was.
Wow.
Oh, love that.
That's special.
We love Brad Paisley.
Me too.
We do. Do I love Brad Paisley?
You apparently do. Who are you thinking of? It's not, is
John
it?
Pardy.
Different.
Sorry, different.
Similar.
Yeah.
I mean, they both do a cowboy hat every now and again.
The surname both begins with P?
Got that wrong. Anyway, next question is country crush.
Country crush. I mean, TJ Osborne is pretty great, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call it a crush. I'd really like him as a person. Like, he's a really super sweet guy. And also, it's great to have... it's great to show that, country music, there are people in country music that maybe don't fit the mold of what everybody assumes about country music. And, he's being himself and just so great on stage.
So great.
Well.
I think country crush could also be like, who do you want to be friends with? Like, who do you think could be your country best friend?
100%. 100%.
Who do I think could be my country best friend? I don't know. I'm always a little bit wary of being one of those radio presenters that assumes that we're friends.
They're all friends. They're all your friends.
Like, I don't want to mislead myself. Like, I get it. I mean, for sure, there are artists that I have interviewed multiple times and we kind of know each other in that way. But I wouldn't. There are very few that, there are very few that I would send a text message to.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like I don't want to be that guy.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to maintain my professional
Nice.
distance.
Yeah,
Nice.
because sometimes you have to ask the hard questions as well, doing the job that
Yeah,
you
like,
do.
do you like beans for breakfast?
It's the worst question in the world.
It's a
No,
go-to. My producer rolls my eyes every time, but I'm like, listen, they want to talk. We're going to talk about.
Do you know,
beans
it's
for
so
breakfast.
you've got to roll out the British questions, haven't you?
I borrowed
That's
that question from you at your own festival with Red Ferrin.
Oh, yeah.
But I did unfortunately interview Red Ferrin at 6 p.m. and had got to the festival at 11 a.m. So
Right.
it was a rough 30 minutes.
For you or for him?
Probably for both of us. But I asked him about beans, but his accent is so thick. He was like, beans? Cowboy beans? And he's like, my dog? I was like, what's happening in this
Have
interview?
you had instances where they can't understand you and you can't understand them?
I don't think like that, but I literally I was like, say dog again. And he was like, my dog? But no, I don't think anyone hasn't understood us.
I'll ask you another one. Best gig you wish you were at?
I think I would love to have seen Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have a friend back home who saw Johnny Cash. She was like a baby or a kid, but she remembers seeing Johnny Cash.
Wow.
And I'm like, that feels like something. But I wonder, like, now where we are in this country world, in like 50 years, who will be the artists that people will be like, oh my God, you saw fill in the blank?
Oh,
Luke Combs at
interesting.
Wembley.
Maybe, yeah.
I would love to have been at the, was it George Strait? The massive like record breaking concert that he did.
Oh, in Texas? Was it in Texas?
Yeah.
You were there?
No, I would love to have been there. I feel
I
like
was
that would
did
be
he have
like
fire
a...
cannons?
Was there
Tell
a
me
fire
more.
cannon?
Pyro.
Do you know what I think? Not necessarily country, but the Eras tour, I think, is going to
Yeah.
go down
Yeah,
in history as like.
that's true.
I can't believe you went to the.
Did you go to that?
I did. I did.
Lots of confetti there.
Lots of confetti.
And Pyro.
Lots of
Lots of everything.
Yeah.
country karaoke song.
Oh, Islands in the Stream every time. And
Really?
I'm Dolly.
Oh,
Like, I'm
course.
sorry, whoever I'm doing it with.
You're
I'm
Dolly.
You know, more difficult than you imagine it would be. Because everybody thinks, like, I know Islands in the Stream.
Maybe
Because everybody knows
I will.
Islands in the Stream. But actually, when you get into it, you're like, oh, hold on a minute. This bit. Because, you know, there's bits of it, of every song that you think you know, where you're suddenly like, wait, what?
And there's a key change as well.
yeah.
It's a thing. Yeah, I've done it at many. I'm not a big well, I love watching karaoke at the Long Road, like live
yeah.
band karaoke. Like
Yeah, but people can sing.
people go for it. I
Yeah.
love that. But I don't really love doing karaoke. But of course, at countless Christmas parties, etc.
Of course.
I've done Islands in the Stream each and every time.
Makes sense.
Have you ever done both parts?
in the
I haven't,
voices?
but I would. If
Yeah.
there's-
I reckon
but
you
you know,
put it
it's
in
good to have a karaoke song that is a duet, because then you've got someone.
You've got to
there
get someone up there with
to
you.
lean on. Yeah,
For sure.
Final one. Best line from a song. This is a tough one. Yeah.
Tough.
Dolly.
It might be. You know,
It's hard because
well,
I guarantee you'll go
there's
home.
a lot of Dolly lines that are just amazing, of course. But I do love. I'm not going to see my ex-future mother-in-law anymore. From Luke.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, because, you know, my ex-future mother-in-law is just such a tee-hee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every
It's-
time I hear it, I'm like, just got to get my head around it a little bit though, because I'm like, ex-future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
you have to
got
think it through. But Casey Musgraves also has so many clever,
Oh, yeah.
where you think it's going one way, and then, you know, it takes you in a completely different way.
Yeah.
You know, where if you don't go to church, you're a horrible person.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. I just think it's super clever. And Merry-Go-Round itself has so many, you know, so clever. And a lot of that comes from Brandy Clark,
Oh, really?
working with her. But Brandy Clark also has lyrics like that are, we pray to Jesus and we play the lotto, because there ain't but two ways we can, you know, see tomorrow. Like, I love Brandy Clark's lyrics as well. This obviously isn't answering your question with the simple. Do people always just go blah blah blah?
You've
No.
done well. And
Got to live in the moment, guys. You got to live in the moment.
We are living. We are living.
No, it is something to think about, though, because it's like whether it's a lyric that speaks to you emotionally, even if it's something as simple as I mentioned earlier, like Dolly saying everything's going to be all right, everything's going to be okay. Like sometimes that's the most important thing that you can hear. Hearing somebody let you know that is the case when you don't feel that way. That could be the most important lyric for you, or something funny like my ex-future mother-in-law.
Or Brenda, put your bra on. There's trouble next door.
Brenda, put your bra on.
Bra on.
Love her.
Mama's hooked on Mary Kay.
Yeah.
Brother's hooked on Mary Jane. Daddy's hooked on Mary Two Doors Down.
Yeah.
Like,
come on.
Genius. In a song called Merry Go Round. I mean,
Baylen, I think we could be in here for hours.
Yes.
And chat. But it's been a pleasure.
We will release you to the
thanks for having me.
Cold lights of day.
But thanks for being here, and we'll see you at the long road, I guess.
It's all happening.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, we'll see you there. It's great that you guys are a part of it.
Yeah, thanks.
We're buzzing.
You've been listening to Chatter Hoochie.
Remember to like, subscribe, and tell all your friends.